Greetings everybody, Ocarina of Games Online. Welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Last time, we took down the Dark King himself, Ganon. And in this episode, this title screen might look a bit different. That's because we are here today for The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time Master Quest. This is the GameCube version, and if you get Ocarina of Time on the GameCube, it includes Master Quest. We got a file going. This is only going to be covering the dungeons, because the dungeons have altered greatly. For example, we're here inside the Deku tree, but this was never here in the original. This is also going to be interesting, because I have not personally played the Master Quest dungeons in quite a while. But one thing I'm going to point out right now is, if you're playing the 3DS version, Ocarina of Time 3D, and you're playing Master Quest on that, do note that, like, not only the dungeons, but Navi, shut up. Not only the dungeons, but also the overworld. It's all flipped. So that is something that is worth pointing out. So it's like, if I go right in the 3DS version, you should go left, and vice versa. That's basically how it works. But we're going to be covering all the Master Quest dungeons. We're going to aim for one per episode, so some of these episodes might go on a bit long, considering how annoying some of these dungeons can get. Because, as I've already stated, I have not done these dungeons in a while. I've done them before, so I have a vague memory of them. And worst case scenario, if I don't remember anything about these dungeons, then I do have a guide that I can refer to. I might try to study up on the next dungeon before I record it to at least have a general idea. But there's one other thing to keep in mind about these Master Quest dungeons, is the Gold Skulltulas. Since the dungeons are different, obviously, the Gold Skulltulas are in different locations. So have fun with that. And a lot of these puzzles get a lot trickier, and sometimes very, very cryptic. And sometimes the enemy placement, as we are about to find out when Navi stops talking, is very dickish. Case in point. Or this cannot be the room I'm thinking of. Never mind. Well, now I look like an idiot. I do a good enough job of that as is. So, to start off, I'm not going to be going through here with a guide. If I start to really get stuck, then I'll use a guide. But I'm not going to specifically, like, go grab a guide in the middle of the dungeon to try to find where the Gold Skulltulas are, because that is going to be done separately. Well, if I find Gold Skulltulas along the way, since I've already found one, then I will cover them. But most of the Gold Skulltulas are going to be at the end of the dungeon that I cover them. Because A, I don't know where they... I don't remember where they are, and B, a lot of them you actually have to come back for later. And this dungeon is no exception. I know of a few of these, one of which is... One of these Gold Skulltulas in this dungeon gives me hell. So that's going to be fun to do. I also gotta remember to narrow down the swearing, because I just got done recording Sunset Overdrive stuff. That's also going to be fun. I'm gonna get my series mixed up and start doing some severe swearing randomly, as opposed to normal swearing. Let's equip some Deku sticks. Cause, does this do anything? Guess so. We're also gonna try to open all the treasure chests, but that's not gonna be as much of, like, what we need to do. So, let's miss a jump. Thank you very much, Link, for doing that. I am greatly appreciative of it. So glad I decided to do these, huh? I am actually kind of excited for this because they get a bit... They get cryptic as hell. Like, we'll see the first instance of something I consider fairly cryptic when we get to Jabu Jabu's belly. That dungeon has quite possibly one of the dumbest puzzles I have ever seen in any Zelda game ever. But you know what? That's a story for another day. We have the fairy slingshot, which there's another indication of Master Quest being different. It was not in this room in the original Ocarina of Time. So that's great. And we did make another treasure chest appear. It was a small treasure chest, and the fact that there aren't small keys until you get to Adult Link, that still holds true in Master Quest, so you do not need to worry about that. Contains a blue rupee, probably would contain a Deku shield if mine burned up, which... Was there keys in this room? Well, there's keys there, so, yeah, question's been answered. But we have something else to do, because we did hit that switch, and there was something down here that we were able to... Oh. This is one point where you might need to get a bit creative. Well, maybe not, like, super creative, because I think it's kind of obvious what they want you to do. But this is kind of an indication of, hey, you have to do something that you might not be expecting. So we have to do... And granted, I could probably jump down and destroy the cobweb, but I think this side area... Oh, and there was just a torch there. That I probably should... Oh my god! Hooray for Master Quest, guys! I am almost dead. It's also not every day you see Goma larvae in this room. They're usually in side rooms and such, not in this major room. Yeah, it's entirely likely I'll die. In fact, it's also likely I'll die in the lair dungeons, because since I'm not going to be covering the entire game again, that would just be redundant. I'm not going to worry about going for 100%. Therefore, I'm probably going to have less hearts when I go into dungeons than I did in the Let's Play itself. So that's also going to take some getting used to. I believe also, I could be wrong on this, in Master Quest on the 3DS, enemies do double damage, which also sucks. This room! This is the one I was talking about. See this thing? Large Deku Baba. It is a troll. It is a very powerful enemy for this early in the game. Oh. Link, what are you doing? Nobody likes to fight this thing. I say as I take it out, no problem. You know what? Whatever. I remember that thing being more trouble, but then again, I think when I remember that being trouble, I probably went in guns blazing, which, or I guess swords blazing in this case, but not really the best idea. Yeah, think. Is there really any point to this room, considering the fact that this is where we got this fairy slingshot before? I don't think so. I think this is just a side room in this version. Though the compass was in the room we got the fairy slingshot, so maybe this is where we get the compass? I guess there's only one way to find out. Hit the thing! Thank you. Well, let's find out. There's a large treasure chest, and we've already gotten the dungeon map. Well, Link, looks like you've gotten your personal stalker. Yep, it's the compass. And this puzzle has remained unchanged. So, there's that part done. But we're not done. Ah, this guy respawns! No, I don't want to deal with him. F that. Okay. So normally, we'd have to jump from all the way up there down here to break the cobweb. But I believe, because there's a torch here, we can just do this. Sure enough. Look familiar? I hope it does, considering... Ah, there's another one! Don't like dealing with these guys this early. Alright. Let's hit the eye switch. I feel like this is another case where you need to get creative, but maybe I'm overthinking it. I actually probably am overthinking it. Let's just move on. Got one of these guys. And it's a proper guy that you actually have to stab with your sword, unlike the guys who just give you messages. Sure, get some Deku seeds. Why not? It'll help. Alright, let's take out the Goma larvae, because I definitely don't want to be bothered with these things while I'm trying to get through this room, even though we had to kill all the enemies anyway, I think. Nope, we did not. Well, guess we're getting a bit creative now, aren't we? Great. So, let's look up. Alright. This is deep water? Yeah, that's deep water. Well, I mean, there's a switch we never hit. Being the smart guy I am, I never did hit it. Alright. Use the stick here. We have another switch, which does what exactly? Makes a treasure chest. Should have known. Alright, let's see what's in the treasure chest. My money is on nothing important. It's probably like 5 rupees or something. Yep, 5 rupees. Nothing to see here. I also can't help but notice that we've only gotten 1 gold skulltula throughout this entire dungeon thus far. So, I feel like on top of the gold skulltulas that we have to come back for, there might be some yet that we can still get. But I guess you could say this is a bit more creative than before. I mean, let's not lie. It's the inside of the Deku tree. It's not going to be that difficult. Alright. There's a treasure chest here. How kind of you. Alright. So we have this puzzle again. I think this puzzle is slightly changed in the sense that... Oh, yeah, this is definitely changed. So you remember how the switch lowered the water before? And we could get across? No. This is another case of getting creative. What we gotta do is this. Then we jump here. We duck. Going under there. We're going to larvae fall on us because... Why the heck not? And there you go. These puzzles are getting more and more creative. That is what I like about Master Quest, is it takes the concept of these dungeons and doesn't alter the dungeons, but instead makes these really, like, sometimes aggravating, but sometimes cool puzzles. It's awesome. And then there's stuff like this. It's a time block. We don't have the ability to play the Song of Time yet. There's a treasure chest down there being blocked by the time block. You wanna guess what's in there? It's not worth your time. Well, maybe it is if you're going for 100% because you're gonna be coming back here anyway, because it's 50 rupees. I remember that like the back of my hand, which is kind of scary. Either I don't look at my hand that much, or I remember the dumbest things that I really should not be bothered to remember. Maybe it's both, who knows? Got a ton of Goma larvae in here. My god, why is there so much Goma larvae? Alright, that should be all of them. Is that? Well, if it is all of them, the door is not letting up. And there's not. Oh. Interesting. Let's look up. Yeah, I don't see any more Goma larvae. Is this another case of getting creative? That's gonna be the common phrase, is get creative. Because that is entirely true. You got anything to say? Strong iron bars are blocking the door. Yeah, you don't help at all. Alright. No. I don't remember there being some sort of puzzle like that. Huh. We'll look through here for a bit. If I can't figure it out, I'll consult the guide. I might resort to that, because I think I've killed all the enemies in the room. Yet the door still won't open. Do I roll into the wall for some reason? No. You know what? We're consulting the guide. So, I consulted the guide. It says that we have to kill all the enemies in the room, but there's one kind of enemy. Yep. There's a Keese. So, it was a lot simpler than I thought it was. Alright, this room. This room is probably my least favorite room inside the Deku tree. And we won't see that just yet. Looks like a cemetery of sorts. It must be for all the brain cells I lost trying to get a certain something in this room that we're going to be seeing at the end of the episode. You probably know where I'm going with this. This puzzle, very similar to the water puzzle. Step on the switch, pull out your Deku stick, run to a torch very, very quickly. Alright, burn the rope. Kill the thing. And there's another cobweb. Did I call this thing a rope before? What is wrong with me? Oh well. Not important. Burn the other cobweb. I almost called it a rope again. So before we couldn't do anything in here, and I think that still holds true. We're gonna need the boomerang. We're coming back here. Alright, well, we're nearing the end of this dungeon, because now... Go through this crawl space. Yeah, I really feel like I did miss a gold skulltula somewhere that we could have gotten. I guess it's not too important. Oh yeah, and there's a business scrub here, because... Why not? Everybody's gotta make a living. Alright, did not want you here anymore. And hey, look, Navi says more stuff that she would normally say earlier, except that block did not exist in this version. Guess while she's talking, I'm going through this puzzle because I think we know how this puzzle works. It's an unchanged puzzle. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to be cutting out the boss fight. So when we enter the boss's room, that's going to be the end of the dungeon for the video anyway. Because the boss, spoiler alert, is unchanged. Nothing changes about any of the bosses. Unless you're playing Ocarina of Time 3D, in that case, it's just the things that I was talking about before. So, that's very, very much a... Well, I would say it's a disappointment, but at the same time, that wouldn't really be an easy thing to do, reprogram some of the bosses. Considering, like, it's mostly just the... You know what? Never mind. Ooh, that's gonna make things a little more complicated. We have a strict time limit. Alright. I'll bite. I won't bite, because... Thank you very much, game. At least since I jumped in the water, I don't have to worry about my Deku stick burning up. Alright. Come on. Alright. Keep the Deku stick as a souvenir. And we're in this very familiar room. So, this puzzle, as far as I know, remains unchanged. I should stop moving so I can actually deflect things with my shield. Puzzle, as far as I know, remains unchanged unless you're playing Ocarina of Time 3D, where instead of 231, it's 213, because everything's backwards. Or not, I think... Did they change the order? I guess they changed the order. So, we're gonna have to go through a bit of trial and error. I'll try one more combination. If it's not that, then, I'll cut to the right combination. So let's try 3, 2, 1. Nope. Alright. I will be right back. Unless this conveniently happens to be the right combination. Nope. Okay, after a little bit of experimenting, it was 3, 1, 2. And you know our secret, blah, 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 blah. It's also 1, 3, 2 in the 3DS version, I would expect. Gonna reveal the secret, yada, yada, yada. We have heard all of this before. The door opens to the boss. And that is the end of the dungeon. So, I will see you guys at where the remaining gold Skulltulas are. Alright. First of the gold Skulltulas we haven't gotten yet. You need bomb chews and your boomerang for. Remember this room? Now we can blow up these rocks because we have bomb chews. Go up here. There's the gold Skulltula. Kill him. You're gonna need the boomerang for it because he's too high up. And there's your token. So let's go to where the next one is. Alright, the next gold Skulltula token we skipped is in this room. We were in here before. Okay, first, let's take care of the eggs. Uh-oh. Okay, well that works. Uh-oh. Don't actually die. Please no. We need health. Pretty badly. Nope, we're gonna put up with that beeping heartbeat sound. Great. Gold token right here. Need the boomerang for it. Alright. Let's hopefully not die in this room. This is where boomerang comes to use, because this... Ooh. Gotta be careful. There we go. This is where the other gold Skulltula token is, and I hate this gold Skulltula token, so this will be great. Oh, heart. Give me that heart. We still have to put with a heartbeat sound. Oh, no, I did not want to do that. These torches are not important to me. You know what is important to me, though? The Song of Time. There is actually a reason for this. Because... Yep. We have time blocks. And it is joyous. We gotta climb these awkward, very awkward time blocks. They're at the most awkward angles. But at the top of it, there's your gold Skulltula token. I usually don't like getting this one because it seems like really weird, and this kind of gives you an indication of how much you're gonna have to do backtracking for, at least early game, considering we can't get this one until we have the Song of Time, which already seems ridiculous. But there's the last gold Skulltula token in the dungeon. That should be all of them. Yes, it is. So that wraps up the inside of the Deku tree. So next time on The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest, we're going to be going into the Dodongo's Cavern, seeing how much that's changed. The inside of the Deku tree changed a decent amount, so odds are the same is true for the inside Dodongo's Cavern. See you guys then.